me based on the agreement that we passed. And that led to me to do some research and ask questions about the previous agreement that we passed, that you all passed, in which I asked Mr. Lapolla and Ms. Talley if we had engaged in any financial agreement conversations around Lackawanna Plaza, and they said they had started some, and I was like, okay. And so, Mr. Lapolla, that was your response, correct? That you had started some?
There were negotiations,
Right, so,
but they were not finalized.
so explain to me why at 9:14 a.m. on May 20th, our CFO received an email from you that said, attached, please find a draft of the financial agreement for Lackawanna Plaza that Northwest Financial was sent this morning and will be working on an analysis ASAP, a copy of which will be provided to you upon receipt of the same. The plan by the council is to introduce it by ordinance at Thursday's meeting. So, at that meeting, you had requested by the council that we were going to introduce a financial agreement.
Subject to the,
Who on the council?
I used that was my language to use.
So no one on the council gave you that approval,
No.
but you used that language in the email?
Well, the intent is to get it, it was to get it
No.
on the.
You're not getting away with this.
No, I did not ask, they did not direct me to use that language.
So, but you said the plan by council is to introduce it by ordinance at Thursday's meeting.
I should have said my plan would be to present it to council for their consideration to introduce it.
Which you mean,
Subject to the review by the financial advisor.
then when I looked at the agreement and read it, which was Podolby, it seemed to be very similar to an agreement that we received from Mr. Plasek back in 2021, which started the pilot revenues for the residential at 10%, and which is much less than any agreement that we've had started. And so I just want you to confirm this to me, because I believe that the numbers for this consisted of, I need to see this, the first 10 years were at 10%. Then it went to 12.5% from years 11 through 20, and then 15% from years 21 through 30. Does that seem accurate to you?
Yes.
Okay, then the Wellmont pilot that we did started at 13% for 3 years, then went to 14% the fourth year, then 15% from 5 through 30, 5 years through 30 years. That's a considerable difference in income. Church Street pilot, 10% years 1 through 2, 15.1% year 3, 15.4 year 4, 15.7 year 5, 16% 6 through 18, 18% year 17. Then it trickles down from 15.9% to 14.4% in 17 through 30. So the question I have, who's negotiating on behalf of the council when I look at this just being an incredibly favorable premise, a percentage for the developer? Who negotiated that?
I was involved, council was involved, outside redevelopment council was involved.
Council was involved?
Council.
Oh, the council here.
Attorney, yes.
Okay, so
Redevelopment council.
So this is where, when people say that this plan was not our plan, this is an example of that.
Well, I
Because-
wasn't here in 2021,
I know,
so I
but
don't know.
you've been here to the point where you said the council was going to adopt this. The council wanted this adopted, which now say was poor language by you. Okay, the second part that I'm saying to you is, if we had looked at this and looked at our previous history when it comes to pilots, we have never done a pilot that was so advantageous to the developer as this one. And you wanted to present this to us. And so, again, no one from the council gave you the authority to do that. And then, when I look at the actual numbers, the way we've done in the past, Mr. Labrizzi, our tax assessor, does an evaluation of the land. and in this case, the residential, and provides that. But when this first came to us in October, Mr. Beneke immediately shot it down because he said, you cannot do a pilot like this piecemeal. You have to do all three. We need to do the supermarket, retail, and you get into the commercial. So tonight, we're looking at making a difference in a commercial establishment there, or retail if you want to call it, without understanding the benefits of the potential pilot. And then we're also doing it without the full thing. And from my beginning, you weren't here, but what I was always led to believe was the first thing to be built was the supermarket. And then we were supposed to go to everything else, which you weren't around for. So I just want that to know, and also for the benefit of future council members, to know what you're walking into and what you need to be prepared to look into for what this council possibly may hand you. 10% for the duration of this pilot compared to what we've done in the past. That's all I ask of you. That's it. And I think that's the only fair thing to do. Now, I want you, Mr. Lapolla, to understand this is the reason why I'm very, as one person said to me, hard on you. I don't think I am. I just ask you questions based on what happens. Fire station number 3, again, we have plans for that. We have those plans. We have those costs.
Councilman Cummings, we have questions around this ordinance.
Yeah, I understand that.
This
I
resolution.
understand
and
that, but
I know
so
she's
point
been
is,
waiting a long time.
well, all I'm saying is you all need to understand that we have someone using our name as a council to pass something none of us know about. And now, only because I brought this up, do we all know this. That's it. Otherwise, that languishes. And
Wait, but that's not before us, right? That whole thing?
No, it's
So
not.
we have Councilman.
It didn't come before us
Councilman Schlager has been
because-
waiting on this issue
yeah,
to ask
well, no,
specific
but
questions.
I'm finishing this up because this is the last meeting. And the only reason it didn't come to us is because the CFO put forth some of the questions I just asked, and all of a sudden at 4 o'clock on the same day, gets an email that says it's not on the agenda tonight. So that's what you need to know that you're dealing with,
Councilman Schlager?
and why I vote no to these budgets.
I just wanted to say something about, the liquor licenses. If you look at the BSREP2 Wellmont Theater,